Hello, William. How are you? William. Well, you said that basically when you wrote that code, right? The code from lesson 6 of chapter 11, Android didn't show anything, right? And then when you added the scroll view and list view and the height, that's when it started to show. Then there were two scrolls, right? We're going to show here how the experience is, how I tested it here now, okay? So let's go. Let me show you here. Look, I downloaded the same code that I made from the lesson, which, if you don't know, every lesson is versioned. So I have the branch 11, or episode 6, no, where I can download the code that I developed exactly for that lesson. And then I, of course, made the necessary modifications for us to have .NET 9. So I put it here. You can see that there's only one modified file at this moment, which is the CS project, where I changed from .NET 7, which was at the time of the lesson. When I recorded the lesson, moved to .NET 9. Okay? All right? Yeah, I made the modification here for Windows as well. And since we have that issue where the icon was generated twice, this problem didn't exist in .NET 7, but starting from 8. If we let the icon be generated twice for the same platform, it will cause an error. So I had to put a condition where in the second MAUI icon, we told it to generate for all except Android to avoid generating duplicates for Android. All right, see, simple modification and, of course, package updates. All right, so it was a modification for us to be able to run with .NET 9. I ran the project here. Let's run it again here. Back here we have the screen that we will access, which is the listing screen. So I'll enter here, we'll scroll down to the end, and we'll go to the list view. Click on load, and the data is loaded. All right, so what's happening here? The data was loaded, cool, but we have some minor visual issues, although none of them according to what you reported. And we're running it here on the emulator, but basically the emulator is very, very similar to the phone, right? It's just like the phone, it's the same operating system. So, Wookie, we have the following. Our list view was successfully displayed. We have some layout issues. I'm not sure if I explained these issues or not, but we have some layout problems, and if needed, I can show how to solve them here. So I have two lines being displayed. We don't have lateral scroll, okay? Horizontal scroll. And the vertical scroll, in this case, isn't necessary because the content is very small, but we would probably have a vertical scroll working correctly, okay? All right. How to solve this problem of having only two lines displayed when our content exceeds that? There are two ways. The first is to set a height. We can set a height. This height here will be for the list view. So actually, let me see here. We have row height, where I can define here, for example, 300. I'll set it to 300. It's excessive for some records, for others not. Yeah, but the 300 also encounters the same problem as before. We have two lines being cut off now. We probably won't have lines. Let me see how it is. Look, the problem with 300 is that it's a fixed size. So if our content has 3, 4, 5 lines, our content varies a lot, right? The high, its height. So it might be that you can set a nice height. For example, I think that around 120, here would already be interesting and would suit our scenario well. But if this information comes from the database, we might have a large description, a small description, right? We can't really control that much. So look at what happens. Here, look, it's already great, 120. Great for some, right? The first one ended up very close to the line, almost cutting. The second one was already good. The third one was good. The fourth one was good. The fifth one was almost cutting. Let's see if there's any cutting. Look, the last one cut. So a fixed size is not the best scenario. And it's interesting for you to know that row height exists. Exactly. Because if you have elements that are always fixed in terms of height, it's better to use it because it's more efficient. But if you don't have fixed elements, which is the case here, hey, the size varies, so it's interesting for you to use. Has UniView rows. And then you set it to true. I'm going to restart hot. I think the hot reload isn't working for this version. So I'll restart and we'll enter it again. Ask it to load. And now look, all of them are perfect, right? The black phone here, all of them are perfect because it will calculate at runtime the necessary size for that content, okay? The elements are very close to the sides there. You can solve this by adding, for example, padding to your vertical stack layout. I'll add it and restart just so we can see. Wait a little bit. All right, let's go down. Load it up. And there it is. It looks a bit nicer. Okay? So this is the result I got from migrating that code to .NET 9. I will leave this code. I will version it and make it available for you. Okay? Yeah? For you to compare. See if there's any problem. If there's anything extra you added. Because initially, there's even a detail. We don't put scrolls. We don't put scroll view together with list view. Okay? This causes a lot of problems. The recommendation is to place it inside a header or footer. If you want the component at the bottom, you can use here I think it's list view, footer. And then you place your HTML elements and it will use a single scroll for everything. For example, the header, which has a button. For your content, which is what will repeat. This here is like a for each, okay? So it will repeat your content here in the item template. And your footer can be other elements that will appear after your listing. So, like a text at the end for reserved rights, something like that, right? Yeah, a company text, something you want to display, you put in the footer, so it will use a single scroll. It is highly not recommended that you use the scroll view. Don't do that, okay? Do not use scroll view followed by list view. You will see that it will have a strange behavior and you will have to work very well on this need. Can this be used? It can, but it will have a behavior that is generally not what we want. It will have a scroll, and within the scroll, you could use it for the following scenario. I want a screen. On this screen, I don't want a scroll. For all its elements, I don't want a scroll that covers all the elements. I want a screen where I will have content at the top and my list view from the middle downwards, and it will have a fixed position. And then, yes, half of the screen will be the scroll of the list view. Then the other half upwards is content. In fact, many times you don't even need to put this content in the scroll view. But yes, it will depend on what you want. For example, I could create a grid, divide it half and half, place the list view in the second row, and put my content in the first and inside. And my content could indeed have a scroll view, just my content. Okay? Do not put scroll view together with list view. It causes a lot of navigation issues. Well, that's it. I'll stop here. Bye. See you later.